All right, so we're out here with nature. Soaking in some sun and sun gazing. And of course you hear the noise of the city. Anyways, take bold, calculated risk. Take those kind of chances. When you leave things to chance, what you're doing is you're kind of saying, all right, I'm going to do this and see what's up, which is somewhat okay, but at the same time, it's not really a focused frame or state of being. When you leave things to chance and just say, let's see what happens, okay, without an aim as to what you are trying to attain, then that's exactly what you get. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You see what happens, and then you're like, see what happens? For many of you, that's the kind of state or that's the kind of result you get, where it's like, oh, great, you see what happens? Sometimes we confuse chance or taking calculated chances with risk, or taking calculated risks, or we confuse, better said, we confuse leaving things to chance with taking calculated risk. You have to dare yourself to be bold. For some of you, sometimes, even for me, it took a situation, like many of us, because we're always learning anyways, but it took a situation for me to realize once again that in the midst of what seems like uncertainty about what's going on, or in the midst of what seems like a chaos, in actuality what it is a change in your life. But in the midst of all that, if you take those bold risks and you look back at how many times you have taken risk in similar situations and come out on top, excuse me, when you look at that and you take those bold calculated risks, then you'll be surprised how much opportunity actually shows up. Now for some, of course, it's a little different. It's always going to be slightly different. Everybody's going to experience it differently on some kind of different level. But in general, the concept stays the same. Why do I say this? Because we hear plenty of times how entrepreneurs say, let's let this pass. We hear how many entrepreneurs say that you have to take risk. And people are afraid of taking risk because there's that sense of uncertainty. But this is also the reason why we encourage you guys to keep a journal for yourself. And in this journal, what you're going to do is you're going to record and write down your experiences, moments like such as we're describing, where you took or are taking those bold and even calculated risks, and all of a sudden opportunities start to show up. Write this down, because for some of you, when the opportunity shows up, you're almost like, oh, no way, this can't be happening in the midst of this. No, because your mind is thinking, where's the rest of the chaos? You know, oh, what else? What next? That's what your mind tends to think. Yes, we're doing this during a sun gazing session. So that's what the majority of people's minds tend to think. People tend to think that when they're in the midst of chaos, all they're usually expecting, what they've been programmed to expect, is more chaos. And when the opportunities show up, sometimes they miss it or they look back and be like, oh man, I shoulda, coulda, woulda done that. So, all of you spiritual entrepreneurs out there who are working to elevate yourselves and the world, keep this in mind, that whenever you're going through a shift and there seems to be a lot of chaos, all right, don't remain indecisive. Take bold steps. Take bold risk, all right? Bold calculated risk. A bold calculated risk, for example, we'll give you an example. An example of a bold calculated risk is this. I want to start a business, or maybe we'll go into network marketing. I've experienced network marketing already with 2 different companies. Didn't work out for me, but I learned something. But I saw also how it can work. So a bold calculated risk would be, for example, you're presented in the midst of a chaos. Let's say you need to start somewhere, you need an opportunity, okay? And you're working on your own business, you're working how to use social media and all these other things. And you still need an opportunity, a tool that can also help you, which is what network marketing is. And so you're given the opportunity of network marketing, per se. And you start to think, no, this can't be true. This one? No. Another one? No. Because back then it didn't work. So you start going back to what you think was failures, and your mind starts to expect that it's just going to be a failure. But how do you know? You're not going to know unless you actually find out, are you? Are we correct? You're not going to know unless you actually go and find out. Because sometimes the most important thing you can do for an opportunity is just show up and find out. Find out. See if it's an opportunity. See how it can work. See how it can benefit you. Keep learning. And in the midst of it, if you find that it's maybe not for you at the moment, then move forward with your next project or your next goal or your next job, whatever it is you're doing. But ultimately, what you want to do, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, is you want to step away from that job mentality. You want to step away from that mentality of only expecting chaos and expect good things to happen to you. So this is why you want to take these bold risks, and this is why you want to note this stuff down and note your experiences. Note everything you've learned, how you've grown, and keep it in a journal, so when you're going through something similar, you can look back and be like, oh wait, look, I've been through something similar like this before, and I came out of it because I took a bold risk here, and I had, in other words, faith, and I believed in myself. The universe is always working with you. It's not working against you, it's working with you, it's working for you. And the more you can start to notate how many times in your life that has actually shown to be true, no matter if it's a small experience, a big experience, or however you want to size it, it doesn't matter. It's very significant nonetheless for you. And when you can write that down and see that, then you start to reprogram your belief system. You start to get rid of what Mind Valley would call rules. And as Infinite Water says, deep divers, breathe in that good ass prana. Take those bold risks and keep moving forward. And if this has helped you guys out, share with someone else. Subscribe, check out our Instagram, check out the Facebook, and we'll see you guys soon. Till the next one. Peace.